Okay, so I'm Dr. Perry, Hagit Perry, and I'm the head of AI.MBA program with a specialty in big data analytics. It's a unique MBA because on the one hand, the students learn all the essential elements of top Ivy League MBA, which train them to be I-ranked managers, including strategy and all the rest. Together with that, they also learn the bottom-up elements of decision making. Decision making today is not based on 5 to 10 data points. It is based on big data. And it is very hard for a human being to make a decision and take millions of points and millions of and hundreds of features into account when making a decision. So the managers today need to analyze and make decisions using tools and advanced models. And this is the uniqueness of this MBA, because on the one hand, they understand the big questions and the case studies, just like a regular MBA. And on the other hand, they touch with their hands big data, use models, learn about them, of course, before, and use them in projects, and it takes them to the next level of the manager and the managers that are required today. I'm in the field since 2001. Wow. From the military service. I was R&D team leader of a product that merged about 20 different data sources, huge ones. At that time, there was no term big data. In fact, big data was officially announced around 2012. Okay. So it was about 11 years before. Wow. And so we started there with many questions about data, and then I became a professional in that. Afterwards, I worked with telco companies and banks and credit card companies in the field that is called business intelligence. So it's funny because until now, most of the information that is processed even on big data is not predictive. It is not the analytics that are predictive and looking forward on what's going to happen. 90% is descriptive. Descriptive means business intelligence. So I worked with varied companies on analyzing things like advertising campaigns or varied offers that they gave to their customers, and in checking what's the uplift. If we give an offer, is it good for us or bad, and how do we analyze this concept today? It is called A/B testing. So everything that is A/B testing actually checks whether A is better than B on a statistical on the statistical measure of significance. How significantly better A compared to B, or vice versa. So that was the first thing that I did after the army when I was in my early 20s. I was a product line manager of a company that developed a new mobile phone, and through that I was among the inventors of 8 patents that were sold to Google eventually. And then I moved to another company, and I was the director of product management in an ed tech company called Otomi. It was very interesting because I had a chance to work with the very big retailers such as Best Buy and Target in their advertisements, and specifically in display advertising and retargeting. Retargeting means that when I go and someone goes to Best Buy, looks at go around and looks for varied products. Eventually, they may buy. It's about 2% of the people that come into a website just find what they want and decide, put it in the cart and buy it. However, 98% leave the website. It doesn't mean that their customer journey is done. And the nice thing is that it is possible to continue offering them varied things and reminding them that the offer is still there and they should think about it. So that was the main thing that Tommy started with, and I was the one that was responsible for the data, how to collect the data and analyze it and bring it to the account managers and explain how to build better advertisements so that they'll be more effective for the retailers. And I think that it was very interesting. There were many questions that are still asked about how to manage the sales cycle. Sometimes we're looking at a very new customer that never bought anything from that store, and sometimes we want to just retain the customer, and we want to ask ourselves what's the price for acquisition versus the price for retention. Other questions that were very interesting were related to the message. Is it better to plug the same message again and again, or to go through a sales cycle of telling varied perspectives of a product along the journey? And the format is internet, so it's different. Our receptivity is different if we are watching TV, looking at the mobile, surfing the net. It's a little different. The web. So that's these were questions that I started to research as the director of product there, and then I decided to return to the academia, given that I was really studying these questions through papers, but I did not find the right answers specifically for my questions, and I wanted to know the methodologies better. Gladly, I was admitted to UC Berkeley. You're coming from Yale, so you probably know that UC Berkeley is among the, and Yale is also a very, very strong university. UC Berkeley is very known for statistics and economics. This is the path that I took in my PhD. I studied for my Master of Science there, and then continued for the PhD and a direct program. And there I thought that I'm going to continue working on EdTech. However, eventually I worked on two projects that I was very the PhD is based on a few papers, a few projects, and each project is a big thing, which you as a researcher you want to advance in the world in a way. So one of my projects was about how to confront overweight using data and specifically using personalized coupons. Whether it is possible to track customers and find customers that always make the bad decision for themselves, what does it mean? It means that they always, even if you look at not healthy shelves like snacks, they will always choose the really bad product, because it's a matter of education and it's a matter of other beliefs that they have. In the dairy, they will always choose the fattiest products from different reasons. And it's not healthy for them. It is known to be very, very bad and to increase overweight till obesity. I wanted to check what is the size of the coupon that is required in order to switch their minds, and get them to buy something that they want according to the research, according to their choices, but is better for them on the healthy perspective. What will be the price point that will convert their decision? And this was the first project that I worked on, and I learned through the data that the difference in price that should be in price is very little. So if we look at the really bad product that increase the BMI for people, if we give personalized coupons on the next best product, even through the mobile, it will be possible to confront overweight. It was a pretty big finding. I had this, as a researcher, you usually have some hypothesis that you believe in, and I was very glad that I was able to show it through the data. I took data from, in fact, 4 retailers in the UK. Okay. Even though I was in the US at that time. Yeah. I showed that it is possible to switch 50% of the people using a few cents. The model that generally the models that I use are called choice models. Choice model means that a person is usually choosing from a menu. Even though sometimes we want the best in everything, eventually we choose from the menus that are available to us. If we think about a supermarket, when we are in front of a shelf, this is the choice set that we have in front of us. And the researchers have a few questions about this choice set. Specifically, if the choice set is larger than, let's say, 10 products, it's hard for a person to actually process the information about the 10 products and make a thoughtful decision. And there are many economic, behavioral perspectives to this, which initially were researched by Kahneman and Tversky, who got the Nobel Prize, and are continuing to be researched by many researchers like Dan Ariely, for example. So these are kind of behavioral perspective. In any case, we are choosing from this set of, let's say, 10 products, and the question is that we want to ask is how a person chooses out of them. How can we tell? We can give these people surveys. And another way to check it, and this is, I believe, a better and robust way to check, is to look at the continuous choices of people. They see the set of products, and each product has characteristics. They have the price, and they have the package, the size of the package, the ingredients of the product, and together, and when someone looks at, let's say, just 2 products, it is possible for that person to say, this is better than this. So generally what happens in economics is that the person that chooses A over B believes that A has a higher utility for the person than product B. I'm speaking, you learned about this, right? Yeah. So there are varied models in economics, econometrics specifically, that were developed that enable us, the researchers. I'm also developing these models and techniques to check what each person's sensitivity is to varied perspectives in products. So, for example, some people are more sensitive to price than others. Some people are more sensitive to the size of the product. Some people prefer large size, and some people live in small houses, apartments, so they prefer small size. And of course, there are varied reasons to prefer, just taste reasons, that someone likes a certain package or design. If we think, for example, on phones, some people really like the design of an iPhone, and some people prefer the design of Samsung. So these types of things can be measured. How can they be measured? There are variations in products. For the one thing that is always that varies quite often is price. We look at what happens if the product price is changing, whether people will change their decision. Some people will and some people won't. The people that will change their decision are more sensitive to price than to the other features of the product. Others will be less sensitive. They prefer the features over the price. Their elasticity, demand elasticity, is different than others. And according to that, what I showed in this research is that when it comes to food, and specifically to snacks and to dairy, the products that really are known to be the most affecting on overweight, the sensitivity to price is very strong compared to the sensitivity to fat, meaning that even though this population that prefers to buy the fattier products because maybe they think it's tastier, or they are tastier, or because they think that they will give their family more substance of bad things, maybe things that they are not educated about, when it comes to a small difference in price, they will change their mind. And this is a big deal. Because the overweight is a huge epidemic in the world for more than 30 years now. And a lot of research was developed around it, specifically in public policy. Nothing worked so far. And I do believe that using data and big data, it is possible to confront it. So this is one project that I'm really proud of. In our group, we were 2 women, females, and yes, I was always the only female around in the field. I'm trying to think. Every company that I was working for, I was either the only one or among 2. In the PhD, it was pretty much the same. In fact, I was the only one in my cohort. I was the only student. And yeah, it's a big deal. It's very sad. I don't like it at all. It's I'm always, every panel that I'm speaking on, almost every conference. Now these days I'm highly involved in fintech and financial projects, and so it's kind of even harder because it begins to narrow the amount of people that are interested in this field, and that I feel that there are even less women, and it bothers me a lot. Yes. It's a continuous battle, I believe. It's I see it happens on a daily basis almost, that I get comments on the fact that it doesn't feel right that I am in this field. It doesn't make sense to some people. Sometimes when I speak, people from the audience will come to me and say, "Wow, I'm shocked. I never thought that a woman can give such a talk. Still these days, it's unbelievable." And for me, the fact that some people say that means that others don't say it, but have some contrast in their thoughts of how trustworthy I am when I speak, because it creates some. They are expecting something else, and when you expect something else, and sometimes your belief is it takes time to adjust the belief, and that's if we think about the model that we know about behavior. This is the Bayesian model. So we have prior, and if people in their prior beliefs that men are better in data science and computer science than women, then they would believe men better than they would believe women when they speak, right? Then every time a woman will speak, and it will adjust and change their posterior, their actual belief, but there is some prior that will affect the current belief. It's a work in progress. Not easy, really, and it's not that I'll change anything. I also enjoy the benefits. It's sometimes it's good. It's salient when you speak, and you will be remembered because you are different. I also think that it is fine and it's fun and a lot of good things, and I wouldn't change anything. Just that I never thought of gender in this perspective. I think that I did not have a role model at that time. I knew that I love computers. I knew that I want to at someday be an entrepreneur, and I knew that the unit that I'm joining is going to be really interesting and fun, and I go by interest. What interests me. It was always like that in everything that I did. I was not really researching what others are doing because it's not me. So no, I did when I started. I did get comments from my friends, my female friends, that I don't that it's probably not so much fun that I don't have a group of female friends around me. My group was male friends, but I would. It's really not something that I would care about. If you collect your friends and your community, and not only through work, and it really balances things around when, in fact, your friends are not from your office. So it's really about communities. First of all, we have our community, the MBA and the specialty community. So we foster this community, and I really emphasize and look for women to join the program. It's a very, very good program. Specifically, if I can think about females that joined us, they were able to really advance in their careers to roles that it's very hard to get. So this is my focus currently, to help our students to get to the best things that they can do, and to use our program as a huge trampoline to get as high as possible. Through that, I'm involved with varied communities like Lead With.
Okay.
So I had a chance to be a mentor at this program. I really like it. I think that they do a great job. So this is one thing. I love We Act, led by Daria Shaked, Nick Shaked. So these are the two communities that I'm most involved with. Yazamiot is another community that I try to be involved with. I did not have a chance to mentor, to give a lecture, but a talk, but it's very important for me. I talked with, there is another program for younger girls, the teenagers around the age of 16 to 18, that I'm kind of involved with. I go and talk with them, and I really hope that it will be helpful. I have a course in recommender systems. It's a 3 mini semester course where the students are coming with a business plan and we build products. There's also a practicum in which I mentor groups that work inside companies, and I teach and we build them varied solutions like churn prevention, finding leads inside texts like Twitter and Quora. Finding better solutions, how to scale solutions for credit card companies and businesses, and other really nice projects. And other than that, I'm also teaching value-driven marketing. When the best benefit and the reason that I do it is that every now and then a student will come and say that what I taught was really one of the most influential things that she or he is using in their job, and really helps them do everything better. So that's really great. And if someone was looking for a job or to hire a more senior job, and I was able to either connect or to help achieve this goal. These are things that will make me work on clouds, and other than that, so these are the things that really people matter to me the most. Okay. Other than that, in my job, we almost on a daily basis, we find really cool things in the data that allow us to build better solutions. So this is really great. It's in varied things like cancer, and like how to predict the development of cancer, or how to. So this is like the biggest thing that was going on lately, and another thing for depression. These are like the healthcare oriented projects that my students are involved with, and I mentor them, are amazing. And other than that, we help small businesses through analyzing how they can do better, and this is a project that we do with a huge bank in Israel. So these are kind of things that on a daily basis really excite me. I think that as data science will grow in Israel, there will be more women in it. I'll explain why. We are different. Women and men are different in ways. It feels through varied perspectives that I looked at that women are attracted to things that are more social. They are looking to speak and to have conversation and discussions along the day after work. And they are really caring about the essence of why they do a specific job. And sometimes it is not apparent in programming, for example. And the nice thing is that data science, and I was really lucky to get there in a very young age. Data science is not, it's very technical on the one hand. It requires statistics, mathematics, economics. This is on the one hand. On the other hand, it requires a lot of business analytics or humanistic analytics, because it's not enough to understand the statistics and it's not enough to build a model. It won't work without feature design. If you don't put the features right into the model, you don't build them well, they are not cleaned enough, they are not true for some reasons, the model will not work. It won't predict, you cannot optimize it, and so on. And this is something that I feel that fits women very well. Because when you get into understanding why you build something that you see how it matters to people on the immediate level, then it will attract them more. I think that some of the barriers are not only because women are pushed away from technical jobs. It's true that it's not fun to be among a minority. However, the fact of being a minority on a gender level, I don't think it's the biggest reason why women are not in tech so much. It's also because they are less attracted to it. And I believe that if they know more about data science and the way and the things that are possible through it, and the huge opportunity in the world that they can have through going into this field, I think that many more women will be there. And this is one of the things that I'm trying to push out to the world.